Baxter throws middle. It's picked off.
Hayward against Davis. It's stolen by Green. Here's Kuzma. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist.
Yo, this is Mr. Glass, and welcome to the GLASSHouse. Still to this day, the best theme in podcasts.
Right?
Welcome to the GLASSHouse, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, we could play that theme for 60 whole minutes and y'all would still be entertained, bro. But this is the GLASSHouse podcast, man, where we talk all things video games and my favorite topic, everything nerd, man. So if y'all are trying to do it, I'm trying to do it. What we got today, B?
Man, we are going to talk about technologies in video games that, one, brought us all together, as well as some of the games that those video games of the past to the present. So we're going to take a little journey. I'm loving it.
No doubt. If I can get my O2 level back. Look.
We had a fantastic time before the podcast started, y'all.
Look, because it ain't no asthma sprays in the budget.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, like, you see us on the podcast. Imagine what we're like when you can't see us.
I've been telling Troy, we gotta have like some off the podcast moments recorded.
No, we can't do that.
No,
we cannot. No.
Oh,
Hey, we're gonna be banned with that other Game of Thrones clip.
Nah, we have to do like GLASSHouse Gone Wild DVD.
guys. Turns out my instant replay works with this. We can do it.
That's hilarious.
What up, Street?
What up, Street?
What's good?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so Troy, I
Yes,
know
sir.
we got some stuff, so let's get right into it, baby.
All right, so we're gonna start like day one. You know what I'm saying? Day one consoles and Atari 2600, and you know, because of all the malarkey that we did prior to, I didn't even get to load the Atari first console, but this is one of the games right here that was one of the best sellers of Atari, and I do have that clip ready, locked and loaded. So go ahead and check out this game right here. Let me get rid of this and fire this up. Oh man, did you hear those realistic thrusters?
Man, look.
Okay, so that's a great thing you just said there, B. And we got to go to my man D-Rated producer for this one because we got to know, as my boy Streak eloquently said, what am I hearing on my life, bro?
Well, you know, if we want to go back to the whole music conversation and the sound effect conversation, you know, go back and check out a couple of episodes.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. But what the importance of this game was, of course, this game was on the Atari 2600 that came out in 82, 83. And it is listed by Stanford University as one of the 10 most important games in arcade history. And one of the reasons was it was one of the first games that Atari had where not only could you play with the joystick, but it also came with a keypad that acted as a pull this picture back up. The keypad where you can toggle your targeting, you can go to warp drive, you can cut your engines, and it really gave you kind of the whole sense of I'm a starfighter now. And yeah, it was kind of a cheap Star Wars knockoff because you could kind of see some of the
TIE fighters. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the cross between the TIE fighters and the Battlestar Galactica Death Star things. But, you know, as a 10-year-old kid, that was where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in space shooting aliens. So one of my favorite games. And if I still have my Atari 2600, but if it actually still had this game, I probably would still be playing it because it was just dope for me at that time.
Agreed.
So I'm not gonna front. I didn't play this game, and
because you weren't born yet.
That's 100% factual. And when I first saw this game, realizing how old it is, it kind of makes me wonder because some of what I had was the NES, right, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and what you saw there. Definitely from the sound effects and the visuals and everything like that, it definitely you could see it's a precursor to what the NES would turn out to be, and it's very interesting in looking at that and then drawing the parallel, in my opinion.
Right, because you got to look at it like this: that was the pinnacle of the Atari 2600. That was like as good as it got with an Atari 2600, because then the 5200 came after that. That, you know, none of us could really afford at that time. And shortly after the 5200, then came the Nintendo. So, that was some good times.
Dizzy, what do you got? What do you think for this one?
I'm going to confess, I've never played an Atari.
Okay.
Right there with me. Thank you. It's not just me.
Yeah, no, my intro to video gaming was actually, I got in late. I got in with the Super Nintendo.
Hola.
Stop here for the jokes. Keep going.
Okay.
That was it. Like, I jumped into the Super Nintendo, so I don't have a lot to say. Like, I know Atari is famous. I know, like, it was a game changer. Like, you got into the games. Like, people are like, these video games it's just a fad. You know, no one's gonna sit around in the house playing in front of the TV when they could be outside. But
you know what's interesting about what you just said is, okay, we're about to get into something that's a little bit less gaming and more satire for just a quick second, but as real life, I know, right? But as real life, we
never do that.
It's never happened before on the show. But as real life got more complicated, as it got more scary, as there became more things that we didn't want to let our children go outside because things might happen. As that became more and more, technology became something that we use to try to shield our kids from the outside world. Because if we could keep them busy playing the Nintendo, they don't have to be outside and we're wondering what's going on with them. So I think what you said there, Dizzy, kind of meshes with what happened in real life as it became less of a fad because of those factors.
Well, and if I can piggyback on that I agree with that 100%, because this particular game was one of the first games where you could see the future of immersion. You get what I'm saying? Like
This
now,
game.
why am I hearing myself?
Just told you. I think
What the hell did happen?
Just testing everything. Go ahead.
It would be you.
You went into the Matrix.
Wasn't me.
It'd be your own people.
Wasn't
man.
me.
No,
Sometimes it just be your own people sometimes. But that was the first time because like I said, when you play that game, you thought of yourself as, and damn, Dizzy just turning up. What is that?
yeah, she got the drink.
Damn.
She got the smoke. Like we hey,
Guys,
come on, y'all.
This is the hard shit. All right.
Dr. Pepper. Imagine.
Anyway,
Wow.
Geez, if we could get, can I get this thought out?
Go ahead.
But this was one of the first times that, like, because back in the day, you did have Star Wars. You had kids that were outside on their bikes playing like they were flying TIE fighters and flying one of the Battlestar Galactica little ships or whatever, Viper 1, Viper 2. But so this is that first thing of, yeah, I can immerse and forget what's going on in the world. Also, in full disclosure, this is one of the games that got me run out of the hood. Got me ran out of the hood.
Really?
And the reason is because, I was the first one on my block to get an Atari 2600. So at that point, I almost lost my hood card, right?
Wow.
So then people started catching up and getting Atari 2600s, and then here I come getting Star Raider that had the little doodad on it, where you can actually do targeting or whatever, So yeah,
You had that next level.
I had that next level, and then now it's time to pack up and leave.
Hey, look, this is the thing, and what he said about the hood card, I'd like to address that real quick because that's real. When you were, of a certain skin persuasion, you know what I'm saying? It was seen in my day, and I'm sure in his day, less cool to be, on computers and playing Xboxes or
Very true.
PlayStations, especially before that.
Very true.
But as we fast forward to now, and most of the world has played video games.
Geek is chic now. Like,
right.
The nerds have risen up and we've taken over the earth.
We are the overlords now.
Because I'm not gonna pretend that I was ever cool in high school. Ever. Far from. Like, I can't put enough emphasis on that.
I mean, dang, you have to, you have to get yourself that bad now.
But
a little cool in you now. Come on now.
After I left high school and I started meeting people, and I only had to spend time with people who shared my interests. And, and now with online gaming, it is so easy to find a community. Like, I feel like I have a ton of friends now. Like,
right.
All because of gaming.
Yes, indeed. Let me take the opportunity to blow your guys' mind right now.
Uh-oh.
The Atari console was actually built in 72. All right. Now, here's the mind blower. At that time, 1972, the selling introductory price was $199. That equates to almost $948.
Yep. That is exactly right.
In present time.
That's crazy.
That is exactly right.
$900?
But I mean, like, okay, well, how much does a PS5 cost?
Not $900.
I know I paid $700 for my Series X.
It's $500 if you go to the store.
But that's Canadian. That's Canadian dollars.
US dollars. If you go to the store, it's $500.
See, Dizzy, you need to come to America where we invite you to this place known as the barbershop, where we find stuff that fall off the back of trucks. So
Hey, Brad, you looking for a PlayStation 5?
Hey, I'll be right back.
How many you need?
I need 2 of them. Hey, yeah.
I need 2 of them and some beats.
2 of them.
And some beats by Dre. No doubt.
But if you go, never mind. That's too much of a joke. I'm not gonna do it.
Save it for after.
Don't too much. Y'all are not ready for that one, bro.
No doubt. We don't get too deep.
Hey, your
He's found
pimp is
his
showing.
line. He's found his
Your
line.
Your pimp is showing.
Dog.
Your pimp is showing.
So look at his Buick of a video game. This
Wow.
is the ugly mofo that was dang $900.
I will tell you this though, and I know this from experience. That bad boy was a tank.
Facts.
You could throw it, kick
Yep.
it, spill stuff on it,
Yep.
throw it out a window, and it was still plug up. So
You know what's
Still work.
interesting? I have to bring this up. I know we spent a lot of time on the Atari, but it's interesting, and I've always thought about this. With the way the electronics are made now, if you notice that the Atari, obviously most of it was all circuitry, right? So it was like, stuff inside of that case, but like it seemed like it had a thicker outer shell.
It did.
Than a lot of the other things that we see now. Like you look at everything now and everything wants to be smaller and sleeker, but they don't realize that you're not putting enough padding around the guts of the electronic now.
I mean, there was more room back then because I don't think they had as much problem with like dealing with like airflow back then and overheating. Now, like you've got to leave that room. You can't pack it tight in and wrap it up in like really thick plastic because you're like, oh shit, like it's gonna get too warm, it's gonna overheat. You're gonna end up with red rings of death.
But see, with the Atari, when the Atari got hot, it just stopped working. It wasn't gonna catch on fire or you weren't gonna be in danger. That's when you knew I might need to go outside for a couple of hours because the Atari ain't working.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but one of these consoles that we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes actually came with a warning. It was the first console to use a lithium-ion battery. And it said specifically that if you shake this mofo, it will explode.
No.
Not it could. Not it might. No, it will explode.
Now, simply because you said that, I have a new hobby.
He's gonna go find one of these and he's gonna shake
videos, it. Exactly. YouTube videos of people who did not heed the warning.
You and I know
remember when the Series X first came out and people was putting stuff on top of the thing to make it smoke and then posting it online acting like the Series X was defective? You remember that? I'm like, the pit pan was definitely strong, waiting for them people.
Yeah, like let's
Wait,
you know what I'm saying?
Wait. Did you say the pimp hand?
The pit pan.
Oh God!
What
have we done?
Lenny, come get your boy.
All right, y'all.
Whatever.
Let's go to the next one before I give D-Ray a heart attack, man. Let's go.
Well, before we move on, I just want to drop the Atari 2600 famous game. These are the games that sold 1 million copies or more.
And I'll tell you if I had one.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna rock this. Now the sound is away, so we can talk over it. All right.
1 million.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, 1 million back there.
And these games was not cheap. These
Bro,
games
how many people was in America back then?
Well, put it to you like this: these games were between $30 and $40 back then.
Mega Mania. Remember that, D-Ray?
I did not have that one.
Bro.
Right. Neither did I. Kaboom. Classic.
Bro.
Nope.
Classic.
Didn't have that either.
That was a classic.
There's bombs in there, bro.
Oh yeah. There were bombs in the Cosmic Art. The artwork looked better than the game.
Yeah, I had that. I did have that one.
Ooh, Atlantis. That sounds fun.
See, the artwork looks better than the game. That's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Adventure.
Did that
was
say
nuts.
Sears?
Yeah, Sears was like the #1 seller of their
absolutely.
products. ET 1.5 million.
Wow.
Now we need to pause it right here if we could.
Yeah, the ET game is famous. Even I know about that.
Unfortunately,
we'll go back to that.
Yeah, Demon Attack. I don't know.
I don't remember that one.
Neither do I. Missile
Yeah,
God. Everybody knows this game.
Yeah,
2.5 million.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Pitfall.
Yeah,
Pitfall?
had that too.
2.6 to 4
mil.
Yeah.
God.
Activision.
Pac-Man gotta be Pac-Man gotta be.
Oh yeah, Pac-Man was ballers.
7 million copies.
Now see, here's what's the problem with this video.
All right.
Right? The numbers are kind of skewed, because everybody that had an Atari 2600 knows that when you bought one, you got a free game, and it was Tank and Combat.
Yeah, Combat is the one I had.
Right. So if you can't count those as sales, Combat and Tank was the #1 selling Atari game of all time.
You know what made Combat fun when you were playing the two tanks battling each other? They could have done a better sound for when you got hit, but instead, when you got hit, it goes exactly like that. I kid you not. So we got off on the farts. It made you more to want to make your opponent fart. Let's put it that way.
You're right.
That was just crazy times.
That's hilarious.
All right, y'all. So there is tons of consoles that we could go through, but we wanted to take the time and discuss about the Sega Saturn.
Oh man.
The reason why is because we were Mr. Glass and I were talking about how the competition for we believe the PS2 was the Sega Saturn. Would that be about right, D-Ray? You think those were
it was PS2 because if you remember correctly, the Sega Saturn, I believe the Sega Saturn was higher than, I don't know. It might have been PS1.
It came out in 95, so I think that's PS1.
But
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been PS1.
Yeah.
But their graphics was definitely
definitely superior.
Oh
now,
my God.
I'll say this. The Sega Saturn was one of the first consoles that actually rivaled the arcade games.
Yes.
To wherein before that, whether you had a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, or definitely Atari, there was still a distinction between the arcade is still going to be better than what you can do at home. After the Sega Saturn and after PlayStation, they started catching up. And that's consequently why arcades started going away.
So I would like to point out that I did mention that at some point we would get to a console where there was a warning that came with this console. Listen, man, when you got a Sega Saturn, I remember when we were setting this thing up for the first time, my dad was like, hey, y'all got to be careful with this one. It's got that lithium ion in it. And don't be messing around with it, man, because we might, it's supposed to be flammable. And we looked flammable. It's a video game. Sure enough, it is. It actually was, bro. Now, we didn't have the misfortune to find out, thankfully. But, yeah, we
Bro, I'm so glad you said that because there was a whole. I was about to write Los a whole 15 minutes on how you lost your legs to a Sega Saturn. Well, I'm so glad you didn't do that.
That's crazy. Like, I never had the Saturn. I owned one Sega system, right? I don't know.
Dreamcast.
D-Ray, you might know this because do you remember the JVC Zay system?
Absolutely.
That's what I had.
How did you have a Dreamcast?
Dreamcast was everything.
It was the first ever online system.
Listen,
how did you not have a Dreamcast?
I didn't buy this.
Junior.
What up, Junior? My friend.
But for those people who don't know what a JVC Zay system is, it was one console that had two types. Like it played Sega CDs and it played the Sega Genesis cartridges.
Oh man, that's dope.
It played both of them. And I remember playing a lot of Blackthorn on it.
I loved Sega Genesis, man. That was an awesome console.
Sega Genesis was so dope because it had such a tremendous breadth of content. Like there was so many different types of games. It was from Sonic to Eternal Champions, Mortal Kombat. It was
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast. It was everything.
So check this out. Here is a picture of the Sega Saturn system. Now, this actual system is on sale on eBay. So without cheating, I want to hear prices. D-Ray, how much you think you can get this system for? Or rather, how much you think this person is selling it? And they have the audacity to sell it as new condition.
Okay.
I never used it. I put it in my closet.
Smooth $1,000.
Hilarious.
Say 1,000.
Okay. Vic?
I would say 500.
500. Okay, Dizzy?
I'm mentally converting US to Canadian because I was gonna say 600 Canadian. I think that's maybe like 500.
I think that's like 500 US.
Yeah.
Okay, so D-Ray has the highest one, and that's still too low.
No.
This son of a gun wants 2,500. Now let me see what else.
Now wait a minute.
He knows that emulators exist, right?
No.
Wait a minute. Now before we judge this person, I do know that I think it was either the PlayStation prototype. I got to go Google it, or one of them sold for $5,000 in Japan or something like that.
Wow.
I got to go back and look. So, yeah. But Dizzy, did you see what I put in the chat?
Let me look here.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, this is what it was? Oh, that's kind of dope.
That's what I had.
Mm-hmm.
So this was
95.
Sega CD and
Sega CD
Genesis
and Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
Oh, wow.
That's dope.
That is dope.
And I think it played music CDs too. I'm not 100% sure.
Most CDs can play.
Yeah.
Oh
CDs
man, they want $500 for this thing, bro. Oh no, it released in '94 for $500. I thought it, bro. I thought it said he wanted $500 for it right now. I'm like, nah, bro.
To be honest, I think we got ours from a pawn shop.
Even better.
We did not get it in new condition.
Hey, but when you cut that thing off, you got to play it. That's all that matters.
No doubt. Let's see here. Okay, so real quick, regarding the Sega Saturn, we're gonna talk about some of the dope games that came associated with it, and let's see if some of you remember them. Oh no, that's something else. Never mind. That's the other console. My bad. Totally forgot. Didn't we do that, Mr. Glass?
Yeah, we did have Sega Saturn stuff.
All right, I'll bring that up.
Megabits, all that.
Yeah, I'll bring that back up.
Do I need more monitors or less monitors?
All right, so this is what we do right now. Then while we're
just
looking
one
for
big
that,
long one.
while we're looking for that, let's hit up the Blast Artist of the Week.
Yes,
no doubt. The Blast Artist of the Week is. Why is everybody calling me when I'm?
This is what happens, man. I get text messages on
so
Facebook,
popular.
on Twitter, on Discord, bro. It's blowing up, and they only do it between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's like, come on. All right, who we got for the Blast Artist of the Week?
Yes, indeed. This is Nikisha Wrights. Okay, she created an album that she has special artists featuring on her album, and in this one, the songbird Raven is singing on it, and this is called No Regrets. Let's check it out.
About the nonsense, I ain't wanna listen back then. Look at us arguing. I tried to open my feelings, emotions all through the ceiling. If you can't tend to me, I'ma set you free. So I decided that I'll give you the next move. See if you really have something that you need to prove. I let this go on for so long, I know I played a part, but ain't no way I'm gonna keep letting you break my heart. I know that this time gonna be the last time. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Hope I don't have no regrets. Wish I could hit rewind, try another lifetime. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Hope I don't have no regrets. Hope I don't have no regrets. I really hate how this played out, but I gotta get this weight off. I invested so much. I believed in our love. I'm sure you know you messed up, but you keep pressing your luck. I ain't got time for no games. Just throw your mask away. So I decided that I'll give you the next move. that you need to prove. I let this go on for so long. I know I played. I know, but ain't no way I'm gonna keep letting you break my heart. I know that this time gonna be the last time. I'ma give you one more chance. Hope I don't have no regrets. Wish I could hit rewind. Try another lifetime. I'ma give you one more chance. Hope I don't have no regrets. Yeah. Hope I don't have no regrets. Yeah. Hope I don't have no regrets.
No, you're not let me I'm tired of you. You hear me?
Oh no, she don't need no heartbreak, headaches, or mistakes. So, but thank you. Nice suit though. Is that a Montgomery fellow?
It is actually.
Yes, indeed. That's Miss Nikisha Wright with Songbird Raven. No regrets.
I still wish that we could have that time machine, and when we meet somebody that we ain't supposed to meet, we can just wind that sucker back. Excuse me, I don't need to know you.
Oh
Bye.
my God.
One of these days, one of these days, we need to create a podcast just for you, Glass. Talk about these people that you want to rewind time on.
Y'all ain't ready for that, man.
No, I got a feeling it'll be after dark. Glass after dark.
Oh, snap. So let me go on and pay my dues real quick. So if you are a blast artist or even a comedian, we would love for you to sign up to blastmusic247.com. It is free to register. So go ahead and sign up to blastmusic247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time.
Yes, I didn't have to say it this time.
I wonder when you say it though.
All right, I'll do it just for you, Em.
Okay.
Changing the industry one artist at a time.
There we go.
Blast 24/7.
See, that's a soundbite.
There you
That
go.
is a soundbite, and I'm glad you did that, Dizzy. Thank you. So I go back and snag that.
So real quick, some of the awesome games that came on the Sega Saturn. One of them was Sonic R. That was 97. Fighting Vipers. That was 96. Let's see here. What else? X-Men, Children of the Atom. That was 95.
That was a W game, by the way.
Darkstalkers 3. Do you recall that one?
I do. It's a fighting game.
It's a Capcom game, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a game. So think about Street Fighter with vampires instead of people.
Cool.
And here's one that we're going to showcase. It was Fighters Mega Mix. That was
one of my favorite games on the Sega. Actually, strike that. My favorite game on the Sega Saturn, guys.
Facts. So let's take a little look into that.
And this game leaves me speechless in so many ways. This is a combination or team-up of Sega's Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers series, both of which are excellent Sega arcade fighting games which are similar but have slightly different styles. After I reviewed Fighting Vipers for the Sega Saturn, numerous people contacted me and said, "You need to review Fighters Mega Mix." You guys were right. I did need to review this game. The question is not whether or not Fighters Mega Mix is the best fighting game on the Saturn. The question is whether or not this is the best game on the Saturn. I did not have a copy, so one was loaned to me by Ryan in Eagan, Minnesota. Thank you for spending some of my money, because now I need to go buy my own copy. I can't live without this game. I was going to play a joke on you and mail back a scratched Virtua Fighter disc in the packaging, but I was afraid I'd give you a heart attack. There's 32 playable characters in this game, 10 of them are unlockable. It has that solid Virtua Fighter / Fighting Vipers style of gameplay. It's smooth, the loading times are fast. If you like any of the Virtua Fighter games, you owe it to yourself to find a copy of this. Period. Now, I could split hairs and tell you this does round some of the edges off of Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter. The music is not quite as loud and cheesy.
Yeah, I was like, okay, brother.
Believe it or not, I actually played that game.
Dude, wasn't it fun?
I remember. Yeah, it was actually.
I mean, look. So the thing is, right, is that me and my family, I got a lot of cousins, and like we would get, a game that was like a fighting game or another type of interesting multiplayer game that we could all play together. And when we touched Fighters Mega Mix, it was smashing people through cages. It was like figuring out weird combos you could do where you bounce people off the ground. It was all the nutty characters that they had, like the woodpecker, with the doot, 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 you know what I mean? Like that. Bro, I'm telling you right now, that game was way more fun than what you probably saw from that guy playing it because he didn't know what he was doing. I'm way better at fighting games than him, and I made it cooler. But that game was super fun. Bro, every time we get gameplay from somebody and it's a fighting game, I'm like looking at him like, he don't, bro, like, where's
like,
his combo? Bro, like, what are you doing, bro?
He's a bit of an elitist.
No doubt.
You know what, though? I'm sorry, Dizzy, go ahead.
Like, I was watching that game, like, first of all, that bear, was that a bear in a cowboy hat?
A very stiff bear.
Yeah.
That killed me. Like, I was sitting there thinking, like, no, like, I'm like, I was thinking, like, there's no way this is the actual clip. I'm like, Troy went and found some fan-made clip where they messed with everything.
No, that was it.
That was
it.
Okay, second of all, that music had me dancing. That was amazing.
I mean,
it was so fun.
That music back then, they always took it another notch, man. Sega was about that music, the entertainment, the ambiance. I mean, Sega was always on their game. Financially, they weren't, but
right. And if
it was,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
My bad. You know what it was with Sega is that they had so many projects and so many cool games that they didn't know where to budget their money for the biggest bang for your buck. And unfortunately for them, they put a lot of money into games that didn't do so well. And when the games that did do very well, they didn't have enough of those to keep everything afloat. But the thing is, like, they didn't really have that many games that you played and you were like, oh, this is awful. I don't remember playing any Sega games and thinking, oh, like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I do remember, though, during that time that it was, you had, for whatever reason that gamers do this, you had the Sega people versus the PlayStation people. And I worked at Electronics Boutique at that time in 95, which was the precursor to GameStop. And the one thing that I remember about when the PlayStation was released, they had a huge library, right? They had a gigantic library. Sega had one section, and you know what I mean? And one section with maybe 5 or 6 different games. And it seemed like the games were not being released, at least where I was, in time enough to be competitive. So what would you do if you're going to come in and pay $300 for a console? Am I going to go with the one that has 5 or 6 games, even though they're fun, or am I going to pick the PlayStation that has a giant library? So,
well, you got to think too.
Amazon or whatever. Like, you couldn't just like hop on, like, oh, I can't get it at my store. I'll just hop on and order it, then deliver to my house.
Yeah, this wasn't Amazon then.
No.
So here's another kind of facet to what you were saying too, D-Ray, is that back in those days, when the PlayStation came out, they didn't just come out. They had hits. Like, they had Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which to this day, one of the greatest games of all time in anybody's list. When you talk about games that spawned other games, Castlevania Symphony of the Night was a huge deal in video games. You had Final Fantasy VII. And, we talked about this on episode 2 when it came to sound and music and just the absolute master class of a game that was. Sega couldn't do that. They didn't have that. And that was ultimately their downfall with the Saturn.
You're absolutely right. And another thing, Sony had something for everybody.
Yeah.
So, they even came out with one of the best-selling games of all time, which was Madden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
When Madden came out, that was kind of a game changer for if you were a sports fan, because it was up until that point, it was the most realistic video game for football. American football, Dizzy.
I don't think it's that different from Canadian football.
Actually, it is. Like, you guys got like walls you can jump off of and stuff.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. To be honest, I don't know many rules to the sports balls.
She don't watch that.
Like, I know the rules to Quidditch, and that's about it.
That's hilarious, and I'm going to talk about that later.
That's actually a W podcast would be Harry Potter.
Man, you're trying to get us get kicked off. You're trying to really get us kicked off the internet.
How about look. How about we did still images? What if we did still images?
Still images.
We can probably get away with stills.
Reenact our favorite scenes.
Yeah, Dizzy. We could do cosplay.
What small character is there that you guys want me to play in Harry Potter?
Wow. No, man, you got to play. You got to be Hagrid. No, we go big here.
Go big or go home, yo.
The movies would have been very different if Vic was Hagrid.
Okay, so Fighters Mega Mix, awesome. The war between the Dreamcast and the Saturn and the PS1 definitely went to the PS1. However, they did make a Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast was awesome.
Dreamcast was fantastic. But due for the sake of time, we're gonna do a little hopscotch.
Fast forward.
So we wanted to have Dizzy explain how the beauty of Xbox Live system, the starter kit, how important or beneficial it was for her and her sake. So take it away.
Oh my god, I feel like the Xbox Live starter kit changed, and it sounds so stupid, but it changed my life. Like, it was like a whole new avenue to gaming. Like, you weren't just playing with people in your living room, but like, you could go on, and if you couldn't find someone local to play, if you could go find them online. If you wanted to play with your friends in different towns, you can play with them online. I tell people all the time that it was cheaper for me to set up my Xbox Live, my very first Xbox Live, and talk to my husband over that than it was to call him on the phone, because he lived 3.5 hours away from me at the time. And that was before nationwide long distance. Okay.
Right.
There was none of that. Like, I was losing a ton of money in long distance. And then I got Xbox Live. I'm like, babe, we can play Battlefront 2 and talk. No extra cost. Blew our minds. And then, and it wasn't just him. Like, I started meeting people online. That was the first place where I started meeting online gamers. Like, we've talked many a time before about how, like, we all met in WoW and everything, but like, I was kind of online gaming before that because Xbox got me into that. That's why I started talking to strangers and just like people who wanted to play the same game as me. And it was just like this whole new world. It was like before, like, you were stuck on one of those black and white TVs you had to go to channel 3 on, and then someone gave you a plasma. Like, it was just like night and day. So when I got to thinking, like, when they gave me my homework and I had to pick what my favorite, tech, like gaming tech, like something that really sort of changed things, I went with the Xbox Live system. And it wasn't the first attempt at online gaming, but I think that was where it really took off for consoles. Because I know there's a couple before that kind of toyed with it. But like Xbox,
PlayStation 3, I think.
But Xbox, the original Xbox, like, it really took off.
I mean,
and that's what, and the Xbox and like the Xbox Live and Halo is what made the Xbox. That is what, like, that is solely responsible for the success of the Xbox console. Absolutely. Is when it came out with Xbox Live and Halo. I was reading an article, they called it the 1-2 punch, and that was the perfect words for it. That made Xbox what it is, and it's the only reason it's lasted this long. So it had such a great start.
Agreed.
Lena, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Hi, Lena.
Is Lena?
So
Hey, Lena.
Here's something that I wanted to say about what you just said, Em.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a fantastic point that you brought up. And this is something that's probably, y'all are going to get the wrong idea about me like y'all always do, that I'm this nice, sweet, innocent person. But I'm about to go here.
Never.
Look away, Lena. Look away. Look away.
No,
mute button now.
Mute, Lena, mute.
I'm saying it's going to further that, not detract from it. But anyway, as a person who has physical challenges, I can't get around. I know me and D-Ray were just talking about this earlier before the podcast. Getting around for me is hard. I can't go out and see my cousins. I can't go hang out with friends all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we can, text message each other. Hey, bro, let's hook up today, 8 o'clock, play some Madden. Or let's go, play some Halo real quick, bro. Like, we can talk to each other, hang out with each other, do the same activity as each other, all because of video games and consoles and PCs that allows us to do so. And the advent of that, which I think Em really said a lot about with the Xbox, was the real big moment for console online gaming. There was attempts at it with the Dreamcast and the PS3 with some success, but not in the same vein as the Xbox. I remember when I first got Xbox Live on the original Xbox, first game I ever played was Mech Assault. And I met some really fun people on the Mech Assault thing, and I was hooked. Like, we would decide, hey man, I gotta get off. I gotta go do my homework, because back then I was like 13. But we got each other. Hey man, let's hook up after 2 hours. I'll see you back on. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. And
no doubt,
not just with family, but you meet new people that come into your life, like these guys here that I'm with here. And it's all through the power of online gaming and hanging out, man. It's unbelievable what you can do with a little bit of like-minded activity, because that's all it takes for people to really vibe with each other, is to be in the same place mentally.
Facts.
No doubt. To paint a picture to show you how long Mr. Glass and I have known each other, when we met, my daughter was a single digit, like 18 months.
Yeah.
But, she was like 1.5 years old.
About maybe 1.5, 2 years old, yeah.
Wow. Are we talking about junior executive?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've known him that long. Yeah.
And she'll be 22 next month.
Dang.
Oh, that's a way to feel old fast.
No doubt.
Look, this is the thing, man. When he told me how old she was, like last month or whatever, I was like, no. Because if she's getting that old, that means I am about to be a fossil. Right? It is not good.
No,
Wait.
You are not allowed to get old, because if you get old, I gotta get older, because I am older than you.
Okay, I spent the majority of me and M's friendship thinking she was younger than me. I had no idea.
I mean, maturity-wise.
Oh, wow. Dang, Dizzy. Dang. Yo, Dizzy, what has happened? You've been around us too long.
She's getting comfortable now.
She got some Tabasco in that weed over there.
Wow.
Yes, the spicy stuff.
Spicy stuff.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I remember when I told you, you realized it's like, no
way,
no.
That's hilarious.
So check it out. We're gonna go forward and we're gonna talk about the original Xbox,
the Duke controller, bruh.
Lena, I am not a role model.
Dizzy is the Charles Barkley of the GLASSHouse.
All I need her to say is terrible. One time.
Terrible.
Just say terrible for me one time.
Terrible.
Woo.
You?
Me?
Yeah.
You want me to say terrible?
Terrible.
Yo.
Wow. You guys are white.
You nailed it.
I love my people, man.
No doubt. So check it out. Xbox One is pretty much where we all met together, and we wanted to talk about the best games from the original gangsta of the Xboxes. So listen to some of these titles, and they'll make those who played it will be just like, wow.
Yeah, you start to get the warm and fuzzies.
No doubt. Burnout 3 Takedown.
Wow.
Here's the one that took me. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Oh man.
Listen, a lot of people, this is the cool thing about how great the Elder Scrolls series is now. A lot of people went back to play Morrowind after playing a game like Skyrim or Oblivion because you wanted to see where it came from. And a lot of people were like, wow, this game was dope too. And then they played that and it was a whole thing. But you know, it's amazing how far that series has come.
Indeed.
I love me some Elder Scrolls.
Do you guys remember Fable, The Lost Chapters?
Oh my god! Well, I love Fable so much. Like
Fable was dope.
Great games.
To this
Go ahead,
date,
Daisy.
I call people chicken chasers. Like,
All right, we got Forza Motorsports. Did anybody play Forza?
I did.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That was dope.
Here's a classic, GTA Vice City.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Of course, Halo Combat Evolved.
Can we say something real quick about Halo, the original
Sure.
Halo?
Yeah.
For me, that was the first game where you shot somebody, even when you were playing just a computer, and they dodged it. And it kind of threw me off for a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
Dodging stuff.
Exactly. If you remember the first time you played Halo, it was like, did he just move?
He's just supposed to stand there and accept the bullet.
Right.
Like,
You're not supposed to dodge this. And he's
stand
dancing.
there and let me shoot you.
Exactly. So
That's
A
hilarious.
fun Halo fact. Today is, I think I saw it was like the 12th anniversary of Halo Reach's beta going live.
Wow.
It came up in my Facebook feed. I texted my husband happy anniversary.
And he went.
He's like, I forgot something.
What?
Wait, no. What?
Flowers? Where? When?
Oh, 1-800 flowers.
He knows. He knows. Like he remembers our anniversary more than I do. But no, like it popped up in my memories feed where I put, guys, the beta's out. I know what I'm doing tonight. And then it's just like, spent all night playing with Sam. We might be getting a divorce. Like,
That's
so, but yeah.
Wait, Fables as in the graphic novel that Once Upon a Time on ABC ripped off? I didn't watch Once Upon a Time. Can anybody else tell me about that?
I watched Once Upon a Time because I think Richard Carlisle is hilarious. No, yeah, Carlisle is hilarious.
So does that have anything to do with the Fable game?
I mean, I don't think so. Not the
I
Fable.
thought Fable was definitely like Microsoft's.
Yeah, I thought it was a
attempt
Peter
to-
Molyneux.
I don't remember because in Fable, I remember sort of like you having to like build yourself up as a warrior and everything. Whereas Once Upon a Time was about a woman who found out that her parents were Snow White and the Prince, but she I think she lived in like New York, and it was like a whole thing. So I don't know, unless she's thinking of a different story.
Maybe something different there. We have to research that. Gotta get our crack research staff on there.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess that's me.
Okay, so we got Halo 2, which we know about that. Did you guys know anything about Jade Empire for the Xbox? Yeah.
I missed that one, but I know about the game. It's like an action RPG, I believe.
All right.
It had a female lead, which actually one of the first female lead action games that there was outside of Tomb Raider. So
Right.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Now, this next game was an all-out classic, Jet Set Radio Future. Do you guys remember Jet Set?
I do.
That game was addictive.
Yeah,
I don't.
It was. It was like, if you remember Crackdown.
I do.
It was in some way a precursor of that type of game. Does that make sense? It wasn't quite Crackdown because it didn't have a metahuman you powered up. but it was kind of like you go throughout your little city and you do missions and that kind of thing. And that's the kind of style of game that it was. And I think loosely, that's where Crackdown got its style from, in my opinion.
Understandable. So let's keep this rolling. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. Bullet time was everything.
Was that a fact, man?
Because you got to think about it. Right at that very moment, right around that same time, Matrix came out. So that was right around 98, 99.
They didn't put the year
I
on
feel
there.
really old now.
Yeah,
I want to do a Matrix podcast now. Damn, dude.
I know, man. I know. Lena, to answer your question, the first part, yes. Fables, as in the graphic novel, that's where they based it off of. The second part, not so, we don't know, but it's plausible because ABC steals everything.
Wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm correct, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, was this the first Metal Gear on the Xbox?
It was, because Metal Gear 1
was a PS1
was a PlayStation
exclusive.
original.
Yeah.
And I never played it on Xbox.
I played it on PlayStation too, I'm not gonna lie.
It was just as dope. I remember that.
I'm gonna tell you one thing now. The Metal Gear Solid as a franchise, to me, was not the same after Metal Gear 1. Like the first one on PlayStation.
Agreed.
That game, bro, was...
We could do a whole show on just
Metal
that.
Gear.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness. Remember hold on. One quick. Do you remember the first time you guys ever played Psycho Mantis and he read your memory card and you were looking around like, bruh, we know I played that.
That freaked me out.
Bruh, how we know I'm about to do this?
That was
that man said to me, he looked at me and said, oh, so you like playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night? I went,
witchcraft.
No doubt. I was shook on that one. I was like,
bro, I was like, wait a minute now.
If I didn't see the breakdown explanation how that happened, because
I would have thought it was magic, bro. Hey,
that's where Facebook got the idea to start listening to everything and tailoring everything to you. Was that game right there?
And then, see, here's the cool part about that, boss, too. You had to plug your controller into the second slot.
Exactly. And how many times did you die before you actually realized?
76.
Right, before you actually realize they really want me to change the slot of my controller? How sadistic is this? And then when you're doing it, it's like, this can't be right. And then the next thing you know, got it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
How come I can't read your movements?
What is going on?
That was a crazy game. All right, let's keep it moving. Ninja Gaiden Black.
Love it. Used to love it.
Classic. Prince of Persia, The Sand of Time. I never played that one, but I heard it was good.
One.
Very fun games.
Project Gotham Racing 2.
PGR, baby.
Yes, indeed.
The kudos.
Did you guys play Psychonauts?
No.
Nope. I skipped the third one, too, that came out. Not my kind
Splinter
of thing.
Cell Chaos Theory.
I watched people play that one.
Okay. I can't remember if it was this one or another version of Splinter Cell, but there was the first multiplayer Splinter Cell, and it had a spies versus mechs. Listen to me when I tell you, there has never, I know people talk about Call of Duty, but there has never been a community of gamers that talk more trash to each other than Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, if that was the game I'm thinking of. Because what they would do, bruh, is when you had one of the mechs or the spies and you were about to finish them, you could talk to them right before you ended it.
Wow.
And when you had them, hey, you little punk ass, it would be everything.
Ooh-wee.
You know, now we see Gangster Glass, and I'm suddenly afraid again.
It was Mr. Nice Guy, then it was Pimp Hand Glass, and now it's gangster.
Eventually, you just kind of get used to getting got after by Vic, like, and it just becomes kind of white noise.
Did she just say she's ignoring me? What?
Yep.
What?
She just gave you the hand.
Oh, we about to turn it up now. Oh, she thought she was safe.
Yo.
Okay.
Dizzy got the glass filter.
You know how many people wish they had that?
Hold on, like I hear him, but it's just like it doesn't scare me.
Okay, all
That is
right.
hilarious.
Hey, I'm gonna remember you said that.
Remember that. It's like a telltale game. Glass will remember that.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna be like Psycho Man. I'm gonna read that memory card.
Oh Lord.
You guys are wilding. Nope, got the cap on.
For real, Junior, you were doing so well. Come on, Junior.
I know he was so peaceful.
Come on,
Let me see the hairline real quick.
We behaved so long.
All right, so next game, SSX Tricky.
Oh, I remember that game.
I remember watching people play that.
I don't think I've ever heard
It
of
was
that
a
game.
snowboarding game where you did tricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
It was basically Tony Hawk. It was basically
Tony Hawk and Snow. Yep.
Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Classic.
One of the greatest games ever made.
Are you dancing?
Yes. Yes. Video games get me hyped, man. That's why we do this.
Everyone's got their little happy dance when it comes to video games. Like I kind of do this, like.
Do y'all not know what you're doing? Okay. You doing it is like giving me permission. You do know that.
I do it on stream. I'm not too worried. People have clipped it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm so used to it now that I can just do whatever I can. It really don't bother me now. They have put my man. If you go on TikTok, listen. Okay. If you go on TikTok and you punch in the words "that's a clip," you will see my face.
Wow.
I guarantee you, bro.
I'm doing it.
So am I.
I guarantee you someone, because what they do now is they take my face and me saying, "That's a clip," because that's what I say when I clip something on my stream. And I guarantee you will see my face on somebody else's clip and them using my likeness, which I'm about to make them pay for, by the way. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to change it. But, you know, I guarantee it. Am I correct?
I'm looking. Okay.
That's a clip. That was me.
That was his voice.
That was me.
I found you.
That's his voice.
Did you like my Wayne's World noise?
That is hilarious.
I'm just saying, bro.
My man said it, and there it was. That's a clip.
See, that was my flex for the show. You can Google me, baby.
Wow.
So
don't Google me.
We have exceeded our hour. It came and went quickly. Exciting times.
We just
always.
started.
I know. We just getting in the groove, baby.
But this is how we make people keep coming back, man. You give them that fix, and then you say, "Okay, go home," and they come back again, ready for that GLASSHouse fix.
I need that hit, man. The GLASSHouse, man. I need it. I'm itching.
Man.
Oh,
give me that GHP.
Hey, you got any more of that GLASSHouse?
So, D-Ray,
I'm hurting, baby.
what you got to say since we're heading out?
Look here, you know, technology is amazing. I looked up some facts before we started, and you know, everything now we talked about all of these consoles, and it's just amazing to me that on my smartphone I have the entire Final Fantasy VII game, and I have GTA San Andreas that I can play on my iPhone.
That's crazy.
So, and it's just amazing, like the computer that took the Apollo 11 rocket to the moon my iPhone is 1,000,000 times faster.
Yeah.
Than the computer that took astronauts to the moon.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
The space shuttle had 1 RAM.
A single RAM? I didn't even know that was a thing. Just a single RAM.
The space shuttle for 30 years had a single RAM.
Oh my God.
That's kind of scary.
Right.
One
and
RAM.
so what that tells me is that, technology is wonderful and we should never underestimate the power that we have, that we have access to. So, hey, life is short, make the best of it.
Absolutely.
We know the shuttle didn't have windows on there.
No, it had windows. You just couldn't look out.
Oh no!
I'm talking about the OS, not the actual windows.
Oh no!
They had them for decoration.
So Dizzy, what do you got to say as we head out?
Oh my God! I think this might be one of my favorite episodes so far. I had a lot of fun with you guys tonight.
Indeed.
No doubt.
And you, Mr. Glass.
Okay, couple things. One, appreciate everybody who showed up and hung out with us this episode, man. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all letting me come out here and do this every week. The next thing I want to talk about is, man, listen, y'all. It's a whole network of people that do this, man. We got the Blast of Last. We got Carlos Concoctions. We got Kelja's Truths.
Here we go.
And
Truth Defiance.
It was something, bro. It's something. I don't know.
At least you got the first part right. Truth, honesty, and transparency.
I knew 2 of those words. I'm like, there's truth, there's transparency. What was the third one?
Truth, justice, and the American
way.
No. Did somebody just snort? Really?
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. We're gonna get together. All right. So once again, appreciate everybody. Make sure you go check out all the other podcasts. Blast of Last, Kelja's podcast. I'm not fitting to say the name again. We got Carlos Concoctions, and we got Bonnie with her show,
World of BS.
Okay, that show every Sunday. You got Carlos Concoctions on Sundays as well, I believe. You got we got D-Ray, Big Los, the V, Rock. We got Rats on Mondays. Yep. We got my show, The GLASSHouse. You already know. You're here already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got that every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you check us all out, man, because we are a family on Blast Network, man. Make sure you check out Blast Radio. Make sure you go to blastmusic247.com. Check out every artist that y'all see on there because they are the next up and coming. All right, make sure you check out my boy D-Ray Soul Res Music. Make sure you go check out all his stuff. Make sure you go check out M on Twitch, which is what's your Twitch?
Damn it, Dizzy.
There you go. Make sure you check her out.
Chickens.
All right, I appreciate y'all again, man. Thank you guys for showing up. We're out.
No doubt. And real quick, Junior, just treat me like an NES cartridge and blow me. GG, my G.
GG, my G.
GG, my G. Yo, this is Mr. Glass, and welcome to the GLASSHouse.